Well, I decided we were going to just continue. I started working on this, and I'm like, yeah, let's do some more of this. And so here we are again with this. Just clearing stuff out, messing around right now. I don't know what we're doing. Alright, well, let's start with this. We have to do 2 because you can't place on the top half only. There's no way to do that. This is just a... Also, if you place 2 of them and then you break like that and you break it, you get only 1 back. So this, okay, so this is... We'll have one here. 14, 13, 12, 11. Alright, so what we got? 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. So that's good. So then theoretically we should have 2 more here. Which means there's a lot that we didn't need to dig this part out, but it's gonna be it should be daytime now, so let's go back up. But how far we gotta go to go up? Neither one of these is a very good result. We need to have something over here that we could go up, and so we got to sort that out. And so that's what we're going to try and figure out. We need to make some kind of small way to get up, but we're digging down, and so the whole thing is kind of messed up. Maybe we can avoid digging down. I don't know. All right. So what we got is a creeper. All right. Hooray. I put lights in there so the creepers aren't going, or zombies or anything else won't spawn in there, but it's one of those things. Okay, so over here, this is the location. You can see it right there, and we're gonna cover that up in a minute. But it helps to leave it like this for the moment, because this is where we could have had... This right here is where we could have had the tower, but it's kind of close to this, so it would only be a small... It would be only like a small access point at best. But you can see the problem of if this goes down... It's kind of stupid because we could get over there by going up that way and going around that way and then turning left. So that's not what we need. We don't need this at all, and therefore we don't have to worry about this. And so if we do build this tunnel, there's going to be a purpose to it that I don't know what it is. It was a nice idea. It was a nice try. Will we leave it half abandoned? I don't know. Oh, speaking of which, do we need sand? Well, maybe we might make windows. If we make windows, we'll need the sand. Okay, fine. Every time I saw a bunch of cows, herd of cows, excuse me. Yes, I have herd of cows. Here they are. They're making noise. Anyway, every time I've heard of the cows, I keep thinking, oh, I should kill all of them for the leather. And I did that enough times, I got sick of it. And look at my sword. My sword is almost broken. Yeah, we need more... I don't know what we need. Yeah, well, anyway, that's how that is. Okay, what are we going to do about a bridge over there? We got to start building more bridges. Let's get some of these in here. Let's get some of these in here. See what we can do about some decent bridges. Okay, now the thing is, we're going to have to go across. And we're going to have to decide what we're going to do with that island. What's that island going to look like? I have this idea. that we could build something at the top of it. But let's get over there first. Okay. I believe I've been down there. But there's... Oh, water curtains. Yeah, I forgot that's got water curtains. So it's going to be tough to build downwards. But certainly we have a problem building upwards.
Oh.
Made it. Oh, still can't get up there. Alright, well, this is as far up as it goes, I guess. Anyway, the point is, this has to all be torn down, but I'd like to build something like this. I'd like to build, maybe like, oh, I know what we could do. We could build a wall. We'll build a wall around the edges, and then we can have a little tower on top of it. You know, the problem is, though, that we'd have to make it out of cobble. The problem is we'd have to make it out of cobble. It has to look artificial. It can't look natural like that wall. And it can't be made of those tiles, because that never looks right. Maybe I could make brick textures or something for but if I turn cobble into brick, if I turn the cobble textures into brick textures, it's not going to look right. Because the idea is that when you break one of these, what do you get? You get cobble. You don't want to get brick textures when you break regular stone. Is there a way around that? Now, for those who don't know, if you've ever seen earlier Minecraft, like InDev, there are bricks. And there were bricks in the early days of InfDev because there were brick pyramids. But now in Survival Alpha, we don't have bricks, and that's kind of annoying. There's no way to get bricks right now. People have been complaining about that occasionally. They're like, we need a good brick texture. I unfortunately wasn't able to find out what it was that they wanted. What they wanted to do, what they were going to do. But I think I can trust them that they're going to eventually bring back some kind of bricks. Whatever it is, however it is, I don't know. So are we going to have to just make it out of cobble? Yeah, we might have to. But first we gotta dig it down to sea level. Well, we don't have to dig everything down to sea level, but we... Oh, and if we're dealing with dirt and sand, we might have to dig a little further down than that, but we could do that. It's not impossible, it's just weird is all. Why does the sun look different? I thought it was like... Didn't I give it a yellow... Didn't I make the texture a little more yellowish than that? Unless it's not using the texture and it's just got something hard-coded, which is possible, I guess. All these animals running around having fun. It's a very strange thing to do. It's like, why do they persist in reappearing like magic? Another thing is, are we ever going to get random encounters in this thing? Like, will we ever get, like, they set up a random encounter and then you have to... And then suddenly a creature will show up and you have to fight it. Well, I guess a random encounter is them just appearing in the middle of the night. But, I mean, what if, like, during the day? Are we going to have to fight creatures during the day at some point? It's still really early in the game's existence and development. It would seem otherwise. This is a really solid game. This is better than you could have hoped for in almost any other game like it that ever existed. They're still working on it. They're still adding to it. It's awesome. Well, that happened. Alright, fine, we're done. It's not quite as cool looking when it's like that. It's just not quite as cool looking. Maybe we should have kept it at its old sizes and stuff, but we really gotta do something. You know, I don't know, are we going to do regular stone or are we going to do cobblestone? I think cobblestone would be interesting. The thing is, what happens if later on they come up with stone bricks or something, or regular bricks or something, and they come up with something and we get to use it, but we can't use it because we can't use it now, and so I build something and then later I have to change it, you know? Or some other kind of building thing. Well, I don't know. Definitely need to work on the bridge. But we gotta work on what that's gonna even be like in the first place. It'll probably be a one-sided bridge. It'll probably go up, and then it'll stay up. And then it'll just go up on that higher level. But we gotta dig all the way down to wherever this is, and then we've got to just make it all cobble. Maybe the next update will have something. Maybe the next update will have something, and then we can just wait for that update. So we can just use cobble for the foundation of the structure, and then we can have the wall above that when they add a new block or something. How long do you think we'll have to wait for the new block? I don't know. Next version, 1.0.10 or 1.1.0 or whatever. Question about whether 1.1.0 or 1.0.10 is better. I like the idea of 1.1.0 because the idea is that after 9 should be 10, but if these are individual digits, if these over here are individual digits, then it should be 1.1.0. But if they're just individual numbers, they could go up to 1.0.10, 1.0.11. I've always liked it the other way, though. But then what I do is I don't like any of that. I like 1.000 or 1.009 and then 1.010 is how I do it. But I haven't programmed in a little while. You know, one of the last things I worked on. I don't have much time to tell this anecdote. We're at the end of the episode. One of the last things I worked on before I started playing Minecraft was I had to find. I was working on an RPG and I was programming an RPG and I just thought I need to get some maps from classic RPGs. And I started looking around. I got Final Fantasy stuff and I got Dragon Quest, Dragon Warrior stuff. And then I went to go to get Phantasy Star, and there weren't any maps online. I was like, oh. So I had to make my own. I made my own Phantasy Star. Now, I wasn't very happy because I then wanted to make a map for Phantasy Star 2, and then I couldn't. In desperation, I eventually gave up trying to make my own RPG and at that time, and I still may come back to it. And I started playing this because I found it one day suddenly, you know. Well, we're at the end of the episode. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Probably be tomorrow or something. I really have to go to work. Good night.